Hey! Here at the Motion Mill, I'm going to show you how to make an aurora effect, like the one used in this animation. Create a new composition, with your desired dimensions of course. However, I recommend upscaling this composition to be larger than your final dimensions. This effect might get cut off if put into other compositions. Now, select the pen tool and your color of choice. Probably a neon green, purple, or pink if you want to emulate the northern lights. Your shape could be whatever you want, but I find that making slightly wiggly things like this fit best. Next, go to Effects and Presets and search for Glow. Drag this to the shape layer in your timeline. Lower the glow threshold for a more authentic looking glow, but don't lower it too much or your shape will turn white. Raise up the radius between 300 and 500 and make it a bit more intense. Now, search for the Gaussian blur effect and add it to your shape. Raise up the blurriness really high. The next effect to search for is Turbulent Displace. Go to the effect and raise the amount and size into the hundreds as well, distorting your shape. Let's animate it now. Click on the stopwatch next to Evolution while holding the Alt key. A text box will appear in your timeline. Here, type time star 50 like this. You could change the number depending on how fast you want the animation to be. Keep in mind your first settings won't always be perfect, so adjust the turbulent displace, blur, and glow until you're satisfied with how it looks. Once you're ready, select your shape layer and duplicate it. I usually press Ctrl-C and then Ctrl-V on my keyboard, but there are multiple ways to do this. For your copied layer, search for CC Radial Blur. There are multiple radial blurs in After Effects, but I suggest CC Radial Blur for this. Click on the tab where it says Scratch and set it to Fading Zoom. To adjust the vertical direction of the blur, click on the right number next to center and drag it. Then set the blur amount to around 100. You could also add this radial blur to your original shape, but make sure the blur amount is much less, let's say around 40. If you think the lights spread too far up, you could always adjust their height by opening the Transform tab, unchecking this chain icon, and dragging the right number down. Make sure both layers are selected. At this point, you might have noticed your playback being very slow. Don't worry, you can click on this tab here and set the playback quality lower. It will run faster, but you won't see all your details. This won't affect the final render. When you're done with the first light, select both layers and duplicate them as well. Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V. With the new shape selected, you could change their color to something else, like this green. Well, it doesn't look green yet. First, you need to click on these tabs that say Normal and change them to Screen. This is the layer's blending mode, or how it blends with layers below it. Right now, it'll just turn everything white, so go into your 2 Shape Layer Turbulent Displace options and open the Evolution Options tab. Click the number next to Random Seed and set it to whatever you want. Now your layers will move differently while still mixing where they intersect. Repeat the process one more time. Copy the 2 layers, change the color, make sure they're on screen, and change the Random Seed. Now you have the psychedelic aurora-like lights. If you found this tutorial helpful, let me know, and be on the lookout for more here in the Motion Mill.